Okay everyone, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about more of Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed, and more things about their son Janja, and Cheesy, who's also the son of Ed. Now this video is going to be similar to that other video that I did of what would a new Lion King, animated Lion King movie or series would look like, of the hyenas. But it's going to be very different from that. But I do have lots of theories to talk about in the Lion Guard episode, The Rise of Scar, and we'll just talk more things about that. But I gotta say, how come the hyenas didn't get their own movie? Like, would it be cool if the hyenas would got their own movie, like Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed? Because we don't know much about them. We don't know much about Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed. We don't know anything about their origins and the storyline of those hyenas. We don't know the storyline of Janja and Cheesy and Chungu. But I just want an origin story of those three hyenas, like how Shenzi and Banzai and Ed became the hyena trio that we all know and love from the first Lion King, and how they became the trio that we once knew. And would it be cool if they would have had their own movie? Like, why can't they get their own movie? It would have been cool if they would got their own Lion King hyena spin-off movie about them. And if you can think about it, in this new like hyena movie or a spin-off Lion King series about these hyenas, they would have given us something new and fresh for these guys, and that would have been something cool, because I would love to learn so much about Shenzi and Banzai and Ed, and more things about their kids and Ed's kid, Cheesy. And I want to learn so much stuff, like how they had Janja, and how did they get banished from the elephant graveyard, and how did they leave their kids behind? Because that would have been something interesting for us to learn about. I've heard that there was a comic called Disney Villain Scar. I'm pretty much looking forward to get that comic. I will do a review video of that comic, because I'll try to see if I can get it soon, because I've never seen it before. But anyways, I've heard that there's that we're gonna see Shenzi's mom in that comic, and that's pretty cool. I would love to see what would Shenzi's mother would look like. Would that count as Janja's grandmother? I don't know. But anyways, let's talk more things about the hyenas, about their own movie. So, if Shenzi and Banzai and Ed would got their own movie, what would it have been about? Well, it could just be about them just searching for food, because they would just run off away from the Pride Lands back to the elephant graveyard, searching for food, and just living a good life, because they don't want to bother the Pride Land lions anymore. Because in the show Timon and Pumbaa, they got the spotlight that they deserved. There's some episodes about them of searching for food and stuff. Yeah, like that's how they got their own spotlight. There's episodes that gave them the spotlight in the series. In the movie, I would love to see something that's, like I said, I do want to see a sad scene about the hyenas. I want the hyenas to get their own sad scenes, because the Lion King characters, they got their own sad scenes, but not the hyenas. They didn't get no sad scenes that is heartbreaking or emotional and stuff. But in this sad scene, what could it look like? It could look like something about Shenzi of being guilty, because would Shenzi guilt herself of what she'd done because she thought that she could trust Scar to provide for their plans so they can eat more and drink lots of more water? But unfortunately, that was a lie. Scar lied to those hyenas, because when Shenzi told Scar there was no food or water in the Pride Lands, because the Pride Lands was all destroyed, there was no food or water left in the first movie, and they thought they could trust Scar. so they could feed them more food and give them some more water to drink. But unfortunately, that was a lie because Scar betrayed them. At the end of the first movie, when Scar said, "My friends," Shenzi said, "Friends? I thought he said we were the enemy." Yeah, so that goes to show you that Scar didn't even care about the hyenas. He cared for himself. And in the sad scene, Shenzi would have been like that she would have guilt herself that she thought that they could trust someone to provide for their clan, to grow their clan more and just make their clan more stronger. And she thought that she was guilty, and she started to hate herself for that. And that would have been so sad because Shenzi thought that they could trust someone to provide their clan and to grow their clan more, and she knew she wouldn't trust someone. That was a lie. And all of a sudden, Banzai would start to fall in love with Shenzi, and they had Janja. But anyways, let's talk about the sad scene, if it could really happen. In the sad scene, I would love to see Shenzi starting to guilt herself. Like, she would have thought that she would have been guilty of the stuff that she thought she could trust Scar to provide their clan. And all of a sudden, Banzai would start to cheer her up and say that it's not your fault. Scar was a liar to us, and it was never your fault. Don't guilt yourself for that, because we care about you, and that type of stuff. And that's when they would start to fall in love. Because in the show Timon and Pumbaa, they were secretly in love. That's what I said in my other Lion King video, if you haven't seen yet. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. But yeah, in the show Timon and Pumbaa, they were secretly in love. Because if you can think about it, there's episodes with Shenzi calling Banzai honey, and Banzai called Shenzi girlfriend. That's how you know that they're secretly in love. And if they would start to fall in love after the sad scene, they would start to have Janja, and all of a sudden, when Janja was about to be born, Zira comes into the picture and she banishes them from their home. But I want to know, how did Zira banish the hyenas from the elephant graveyard? Like, how did they ran off? I want something explained, because we didn't get no answers in the Lion Guard. How did they ran off? But I still need answers, because we still need an answer of why Shenzi and Banzai and Ed ran off, and why did they abandon their children. Because I know Shenzi would never abandon her son because she's a terrible mother. I know Shenzi was not a terrible mother. She would have done anything to keep her child safe. She would have done anything to keep Janja safe, away from Zira, the lion hyena killer. Because if Zira would have figured out the real truth, that Scar was killed by hyenas, she would have went after them. Because that's why Shenzi would have kept the truth away from her son. But I do have theories about the Rise of Scar episode in the Lion Guard. So remember, there's one scene with Janja met Ashari, and when Janja said Scar died in the fire? Well, I think Shenzi might have told Janja about Scar, and she kind of lied to him about him being consumed by the flames. But that wasn't true. You gotta think about it. At the end of The Lion King, Scar was killed by Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed and their clans. And Janja thought that Scar died in the fire. Did Shenzi lie to her own son just to keep that secret away from him? Because if she would have lied to him, Janja wouldn't have known anything about Scar, and before Zira came along and banished the hyenas from their homes, she ran off to not know that Zira would have figured out the real truth, that she was killed, that Scar was killed by hyenas. And that's why she would have told Janja that everything's gonna be okay, and that she loves him no matter what, because Shenzi is still Janja's mother. And then they ran off, and she would have done anything to keep Janja safe, and that's the safest thing, that you would have done anything for your child. And when Janja grew up, he thought that Scar was killed by the fire, but it wasn't true. But in season 4 of The Lion Guard, what if they could change that? They would have showed us that the truth, that he was killed by hyenas, and that would have been shocking for the characters. They would have thought that he really died in the fire, but it wasn't true. He was killed by Shenzi and Banzai and Ed's clans, and Janja would have thought that his mother lied to him, and why would a mother lie to her own son like that? Maybe it's just because that Shenzi didn't want Janja to figure out the real truth, that his own mother killed Scar, and that would have been shocking to hear. But anyways, what are your ideas of what a Shenzi and Banzai and Ed movie could look like? Like, how come Shenzi and Banzai and Ed didn't get the spotlight in the Lion King series? Because, come on, we had to give Shenzi and Banzai and Ed a lot of love. Because if they would have gotten their own movie, we could have learned so much about them. We could have learned so much about Ed, his backstory. We could learn about Banzai's backstory and Shenzi's backstory, because we could learn so much about them, how they became the hyena trios that we once knew from till today. But alright guys, thanks for watching this video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos to come. Let me know if you wanted to see more Lion King videos from me about the hyenas. Just let me know down in the comments. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Have an amazing day, everyone.